It's a colorful foresight where we intuitively connect from within. Hi, this is Sylvia of Colorful Foresight. How are you? So there's a lot of you that are new. You found me from Linda G as a guest. Thank you for subscribing. And so my experience, before we go into Joe Biden, we're going to make it exciting somehow, right? I was going to do live. I'm a little nervous. When you have like 200 people and then you have like over 400. But hey, it's process, right? Just like anything. So so happy to see you. So I went on Linda G. I watched. It was good. I was so talkative and I felt a little ungrounded. But I was so excited. Can you imagine listening to somebody over like since 2017? Then you finally go on and you just yep, all over the place. But so good. So I'm glad I did that. That was a great experience. I hope to collaborate with her again in the future or anybody else in regard Joe Biden winning in 2024 and beyond. So we're not obsessed with him, but this is what we have in the moment. Every time, people complain about him, one of the biggest from both sides is he old. Well, he is getting older. But thank God he is so skilled. So even though he's a bit slowed down, he's so skilled and he knows what is up. I mean, he was also vice president for, 8 years. And, so he knows the game. He knows the game. That's what Spirit Guide is telling me. By the way, if you're new in regard with me, even though this is not live and it's pre-recorded, you could put in comment what you think, what you feel intuitively. What I like to do with Colorful Foresight is, okay, here we go. It's Colorful Foresight where we intuitively connect from within. And it's woo-woo time where we connect our woo-woo into our mundane living for your entertainment purposes only, jazz hand, right? So it's about, how many of you follow political psychics and they're so great and they help us to stay calm, right? However, we have to get in touch with our own intuition, right? It's there naturally. Maybe some people are naturally more gifted or they work at it, right? Why? There's artificial intelligence. This is where you have to listen intuitively. But we're energetic beings, so it's not like some people, it's everybody, pretty much. I mean, I think so, pretty much. So it's just a matter of being aware of it. So this is not where we're getting graded. So you could say what you think, what you don't think. Of course, try to feel into it. It's a good place to practice, but that's why we say it's entertainment purposes only. But it's like, when is it like the devil on our shoulder? Is it our ego that wants to have an answer? Or is it our opinion that wants to answer versus being more of a clear channel and listening to the angel, our spirit guide? So we have to know the difference between the two. So going back to Joe Biden, right? Go all the way around and go right back to the focus point. Oh, no, go back to Linda G first. So that was exciting. I'm glad I did that. She's so awesome. And I also finally did a one private reading with her. I'm glad I got to experience that once before she retired. It's pretty good, so it gives me confidence. But even though she was so good, we still got to go with our intuition. So if I felt like something I didn't agree with her, and it's not because she's being accurate, you know what I mean? Like sometimes she's just being accurate and you don't want to agree, but sometimes it's like maybe spirit guides just like, I don't know if they test us, but there's prediction where they see the future, but then there's what you're creating in the moment, right? Something. So same thing. Oh, okay. Also, just want to let you know, I live with my mother, and she lived on the top floor, and I live in the middle floor. So we're gonna switch because she's getting older. So she's gonna live in the middle floor. It's nice. It's 2 steps to outside. I'm gonna fix it up nice bathroom opening up to the backyard. When you're upstairs, you have to always worry about the stairs, things like that. So I'm coming up here, but because of that, the construction's gonna take about a month, right, or two. So I have all my stuff like in the 2 room. So I don't know where anything is. They're organized. They're like, there's clothes bags, then there's like altar bags, and there's paper. But it's like I don't really have room because she still lives up here, and it's her place, her home. So that's kind of like what's going on with Joe Biden. There's so much going on. It's all related, even to what I'm to the clutter and the messiness, but everything is in place, but they're not landing. So take that example of I have all these things here, but they're not in place, because the my mother's stuff. So think of it as an analogy of Joe Biden is really and his team and the White House, and it's also just what's supposed to be after him after 4 years and so on, in a benevolent way. We're focusing on the positive, right? We're not gonna. We already see what the negative, but let's focus on the positive, or in a where there's progress and good news. So it's like he's like in between. He's like the bridge, old school, new school, right? Even the way he bipartisan, he's really good with that. And he's really keeping both in check, the extremists on both sides, whether it's the right or left. They want to do their way, and that's it. And really, he he's bringing back the bipartisanship, but it's going even further because bipartisanship was there before the last 15 years or whatever. Um, but it's like bridging to something totally new. So for me, moving up here is going to be a whole different energy. And where am I going to place this thing? So same thing with Joe Biden. What all these new things that he's doing, like the infrastructure plan, right? That he's doing, um, creating so much. Like USA, he said it's number 13 as far as like having what do you call it, good infrastructures, right, in the world. So this is gonna boost it up, boost USA. So that's like new things are being replaced. It's not even about bringing bipartisanship. Of course, ideas always gonna merge because people are different and you have to work with it always. But it's like beyond what these two know, or even what's in between when they're blended, as teamwork. So it's a whole new energy. So being that this video is about the working class is going to be different than how it was before. It's just because of timing. But it's good. I mean, there's going to be, I guess the wealthy, the working class. And maybe what I'm getting, the poor, it's still not going to be like the poor it was before. It's still going to be better. So it's just like how some people luck it in life, but I feel like everybody's going to be taken care of. And because of the golden age is coming about, and we're pushing through that energy because remember, we're dealing with a lot of darkness that don't want change, that don't want the golden age to happen, that don't want enlightenment for everybody to happen. You know what I mean? They want to keep it suppressed. And for what I gather from ancient aliens and some spiritual stuff, society has came and went. There have been advanced societies that came and went. There have been advanced society way more evolved and went under because of their ego or technology. So why do we bother? Because it's like do-overs. There are do-overs. So same thing with the middle class. We're gonna have do-overs. Um, so it's gonna be something similar to how the middle class was. First of all, as you know, he's bringing a lot of work in the USA, right? Like the microchip industry, bring a lot of people, American that live in China or represent China from all over are coming here. So he's dealing with the union and so many things. So working class, what are you getting with the working class with him? So that. Oh, remember if you did watch the Linda G video, but if you didn't, I said people fall asleep when they hear about Joe Biden or It's calm. Things that are calm in nature. He's a calm guy. He's just mellow. But we all want the drama of the other side, the former guy. All the scary stuff. It's not that we want it, but it's also part of like our fight flight system wants to know. So they're going to try to find ways to stay safe. But then when we hear about things that are going well, sometimes not only we take it for granted, but we don't pay attention. We still got to pay attention to politics for the rest of our life, or things that involve people getting together with their differences. Cause I know soon, like for me, Joe Biden became president in 2020. I started to relax, watch less news. So I realized that I don't have to watch as much, but always got to stay alert, aware about the world around me. So I hope this makes sense for you. So tell us about the working class. What the working class going to be like with Joe Biden as the president in 2024 and beyond? Light up, lighten up. The working class can lighten up. That means there's going to be less poverty. Ooh, because of all the light that coming in, pouring in. There's going to be more mindfulness. So more mindfulness. And when there is a way, there's a will. That's totally Joe Biden and the White House administration. That's so about him working with leaders around the world, like with NATO, and they're working together. Some of these leaders probably are not maybe even great guys, but they're doing the right thing because you want to work with dictators who will kill you if you don't agree with them, no matter how much money you have, or you have democracy, and then pretty much like fair game. That's a better deal. So you do the right thing. So NATO, it's a huge thing. So going back to the working class, um, this somehow going to help with a lot of the third world country become middle class too, which is interesting because usually, like for example, India and some of those and China, where a lot of things are made there, they start making money, right? Because everything's made there. But then in the USA, because a lot of jobs went out to places like that where things are made cheaply, we start having less jobs. So how could we have more working class if we start taking job away from certain countries? So I think it had to do with, again, the golden age. The idea of what the middle class gonna shift. Like remember you hear about like this idea that what people feel wealthy in different countries different. Like if we go, I don't know, in Africa, a certain part of Africa, if they have goats and they have a hut, they consider themselves very wealthy. So you have to think of it that way. So it's like the middle class, it's gonna be the majority, right? So that's gonna that in the world of the golden age, in the world where people are more and more enlightened, you don't have to be spiritual or kumbaya. There's no hierarchy. It's just where the energy is going. And we're not going to be like that society, an advanced society in the past, who were involved or enlightened, so to speak. But due to ego and technology and all that, they went under, right? So we're going to do a do-over. So the, I'm kind of jumping all over the place, but that's my style a little bit. So the middle class is going to be like lighten up, brighten, just not in the USA, but around the world. Somehow, even though other countries are going to lose the ability to make money because America is going to have more money, have more ability to have people earn income. The middle class gonna our ability to Joe Biden ability to create that gonna help. It's gonna be like a ripple effect for the rest of the world. You know, remember he was chosen. It could have been another guy that was chosen, or another person, but he was chosen for whatever reason. Not chosen like, but I mean for this role at this period of time. So not even about making him like the martyr. Nothing about that. Just whoever came at this time, but he just happened to be the guy with the skill to do it at this time. Can remember like the Democrat, like there was like 24 of them at the debate. There was like a lot of options. And if, speaking of Linda G was like, in the beginning, Joe Biden didn't have any energy around him. And then suddenly she saw a light around him. So this is something that universe are involved, um, to make sure humanity continue to thrive in a good way. Okay, so I don't know if you saw the video I did with Linda G. I talked about the love vibe. How in the love vibe, how can we be loving when we have aspect? We have the devil on our shoulder, the ego. It could also mean like the ego, anger, unconscious aspect to us. And then we got the angel, which is the more awareness, conscious, but also our intuition good. So we'll listen to our guides that have great wisdom, even though our personality may not be as wise as our guides. So we could be working with, I see the masculine aspect. We're seeing right now how the masculine in their wounded aspect are not doing the best for humanity, right? And they're also trying to suppress the women. So that energy is there. So that's clearing up. It's kind of like going back to the room thing. It's like getting rid of a lot of stuff, but then keeping, I have like bags and bags and bags between here and the next room of stuff that when I have room, with it room for new, and my mother had her new space, now things could be put in new place. So that's going to be the new energy of the world, for example. So, everything to effect. How USA does something affects the world. How the world does something affect us, and so on and so on. So let the process be. It's all process. The thing is, a lot of people don't know what they want. Because it said, be clear on what you want. So, what do we want as the middle class that Joe Biden will bring? So let's ask our spirit guide. How is he helping us having the middle class? So I have the card, the affirmation deck from Coaching for Inspiration with Patty, and she's a work-life coach. I get things done. Wasn't that similar to that other card I had? Where is it? Well, get things done. So that's the thing about Joe Biden. He actually gets things done. That's why people are so surprised. Like sometimes you see on the Republican channel where they're trying to downplay his ability to make economy great or the ability to come up with a bipartisan plan for the border and things like that. He gets things done. So that's what makes him great. So because he gets things done, that ripple effect, having that kind of president, especially now especially the next, you know, period of time, 2024 and on, that's going to ripple effect. People are getting things done. Enough of that talking, charming, not doing anything, not for your highest good. So it's all about getting things done. So that's pretty cool. What do you get? What are you getting regard that? I say no easily. So that means even the good guys, so called, or people who don't like confrontation, they're gonna learn how to say no. And that makes what would that have to do with the middle class? That's a good question. The middle class, Joe Biden. Well, you can't always be nice. Sometimes you have to put your foot down to get things done, even when you work in bipartisanship. That's why there's negotiation. So there's going to be no more negotiation in regard middle class. I feel it had to do with, okay, think golden age, enlightenment, people seeing how bad it is. You got the very wealthy that try and hold on to their power. But you got a lot of, with that golden age energy, they're part of that energy. So that may shift a lot of the very wealthy, how they see money. So they may get more taxes. So they may go, do I want to work this much to have $10 billion? Could that mean if after tax, I'm gonna lose like 3 billion or 2 billion? Sorry, So they wouldn't want that. So a lot of people are gonna reframe about this idea why I'm being so wealthy to begin with. You know what I mean? Uh, how many cards do I need? Even if you're that wealthy, 10 cards is great, right? But do I need 30 cards? Um, what can I do with all these extra buildings I have that are vacant? Maybe I could do something with that. It's like that kind of thing. So the the golden age coming about, the Aquarian age, in a positive and a benevolent way. We're focusing on the good news. Will bring shift in the quality of humanity. I was told in a spiritual group called the Golden Age Movement, even with enlightenment, maybe that's like the really ideal situation with humanity. But in the midst of the universe, think about it, the universe is infinite, right? Million years away, blah blah blah. That there's things after enlightenment, then there's things after enlightenment. Then you know what I mean? We're constantly growing. So even with enlightenment, we may have this idea like, oh, all well and good, and you're enlightened. You have no um bad qualities or this and that. No, it's just going to be a different space. We want to be transformed, not just enlightened, but it's still going to be a better space to have a lot of humanity be that than not. You know what I mean? So if there's like any resistance to the word enlightenment or that idea, oh, I can be enlightened, let that go. Let that go. It would happen anyway because it's like the ocean wave. If the ocean wave pushes you, you're gonna go with the pattern of the wave. If you could swim against the wave going toward you, it's gonna take longer. Or it's like the river. You kind of just go downstream with the river. So you were going downstream with the golden age and the Aquarian age. If you fight against it, but it would be more challenging. So it's something like that, okay? So let's see what else there is for the middle class. What are you getting about the middle class with Joe Biden? How is he great? Well, interestingly enough, we got lighten up again. The energy lighten up, bring different things. It make people see from within, look within. Then I got travel and mindfulness. So I think travel is like not just going to be USA middle class that Joe Biden's going to be helping. It's going to be a ripple effect around the world. They're going to get some creativity. NATO, the idea of Joe Biden strengthening NATO, which the former guy wanted to weaken it. Again, even all those leaders doesn't mean they're all kumbaya leaders, but they want to do the right thing, or it's strategic to stay safe in their country. They're building relationship with each other, more, especially at this time when they're working against some dictators or something big that want to create a lot of chaos. It's like they're building a relationship. So with that, you have a whole bunch of leaders working together. So whatever one leader does, the other one looked at it, takes some of the insight from that, and apply it to their country. So Joe Biden had that effect of the ability to work with people, the ability to want to negotiate and have everybody win. Can help people look within and expand. So it's a ripple effect. I say the word travel could be like the ripple effect of the middle class. Golden age, the energy, the Aquarian age, it's going to be a ripple effect to us without us doing anything. It's just being in that energy. Like people talk about astrology, how different planets affect each other differently. The full moon, it's just things that are out there that are affecting us naturally, the environment, and things like that. So, what else do we have for the middle class? So, what do you think? Hmm? Now, what you feel. Let's go from within, right? We're not going to go what we think. What we feel. 2024 and on. How to help the middle class. I see more mom and pop type of shop. I see corporation working with mom and pop shop type of thing. Maybe it's like consulting type of thing. I don't know. I don't know how that works together. You guys may understand that. Um, what else? What came to my mind? I was thinking suddenly, randomly, but it's not random, about like concert, how things are so expensive. Everything is so expensive. So everybody's. So much. So when we have more middle class, that inspiration of the middle class versus just the wealthier people that could afford the concert, or they have to give up their paycheck or to go to a concert or have things, versus the poor. Maybe the poor people would be like, well, they're really poor, but or they watch the concert on TV. So because it's more middle class, that means people remember everything's the ripple effect, the vibe. We have more. If you have that extreme happening more and more, where it's becoming more difficult to stay in the middle class. You're gonna have energy of how things are done that are like this versus everything in between with spectrum. So that means the idea of going out again, or it would be a little more affordable because we're having it's a ripple effect. We're having the spectrum be strong. We're not just nurturing these two aspects. People could charge less for a concert. Like things like that. I remember in the 80s, 90s, in the summer, you could go to like 6, 7, 8 concert. You know what I mean? And you couldn't do that now because one concert just costs so much. So the middle class, could be a ripple effect with all areas, music. But now I'm jumping all over the place. But Joe Biden just going to have that effect. Going to be called the Joe Biden effect. Right now you hear about the Bidenomic. Now you're going to hear the Joe Biden effect. Because, yeah, the Joe Biden effect. And again, it's also the teamwork of the White House administration. It's also you guys who donate and pray and stuff. So everybody doing their part. So that's what I'm getting for the middle class. So maybe Sunday, I'm not sure I'll do a live with all of us. We'll see. Okay. Take care. Take care.